get it in, I 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 get it in. Baby, you in the presence of a star. Bottles pop every time I hit the bar. Lights flash every time I hit the car. If you stick with me, you go far. I get it in, I get it in, I get it in, I get it in.
What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Ace, and I'm back once again to do Ace Answers All, Part 5. And as much as it hurts me to say, this is probably going to be the last video I do in the Ace Answers All editions. So I want to thank everybody for sending in their questions, and thank you to everybody who has told me to keep doing this, because if it wasn't for you, there probably would not even be any Ace Answers All videos after Part 1 was made. So thank you so much. And if you'll excuse me a second, I'm going to go look for your questions so I can answer them. Enjoy this musical interlude.
The chapters in my life that most don't know about, so it's nice to finally be able to let some of it out. The people like to judge too quick, there's one in every crowd. It's nice to write this down and finally let it out. The chapters in my life that most don't know about, so it's nice to finally be able to let some of it out. The people like to judge too quick, there's one in every crowd. It's nice to write this down and finally let it out. I've got respect for those who've got respect for me. Mob 1, Miss Corona, Rents, and Mo Dirty, Paradigm, Trick, Ice, 313 Destiny, OBG, Invincible, Fathom, Rusty Street, Justice, Great Town, Fall, West, McCody, Mel Hawthorne, Big Van, and my buddy Guilty. Rest in peace, proof, everybody still misses you. Now that day goes by, we don't stop to think of you. Eminem, we're all so glad you're back. The music business was really whack back when you relapsed. Kyle Busch sucks, someone get him off the track. Justin Bieber sucks too, Canada can have him back. I always have a good time no matter where I'm at. Nice shirt, black pants, and a made in Detroit hat. I'm a real nice guy and a big fan of chivalry. My will's more powerful than Tiger's blood and Charlie Sheen.
You guys know who that was, right? But you probably don't know, though some of you might know, but the first song was off of a good buddy of mine's album, and thank you so much for allowing me to use it. That was Marv 1 from his Wayne Fonts Music album. And Marv 1 is also a member of the very popular and awesome group Fat Killers. So if you haven't heard of Fat Killers or Marv 1 or both, you're missing out on some good music and some good tunes. Now, let's cut this quick because I don't have that much time. And again, this might be the last one I make, so I hope you enjoy the answers and the questions. First question is, where is your favorite place to eat? That's a good question, because I like a lot of different types of food, but I'm very picky. Excuse me. Whew. But I like White Castle, I like Jet's Pizza, I like Mancino's Grinders, Lafayette Coney Island. If you're ever in Detroit, you've got to check out the Lafayette Coney Island. That's a must. So, you know, the list could go on. It could be like this long. The next question is, if your walls could talk, what would they say? If my walls could talk, especially my bedroom walls, they would look around and go, man, you got a lot of NASCAR stuff hanging up. If Eminem asked you to open for him in concert, would you do it? Hands down, yes. He wouldn't even have to pay me. I would do it for free, just to be able to be on stage in front of thousands among millions of people probably, depending on where it's at, and feel the energy come off. The audience would be an adrenaline rush like no other. So yes, I would. If you were the governor of the state of Michigan, what's the first thing you would do? I would abolish the smoking ban in the state of Michigan. I would get rid of it. I would take my own money and do whatever I could to campaign to get rid of it, because that's one of the most stupidest things, pardon me, that the governor or any governor could ever think of doing, Snyder. So I would definitely change that. Next question is, who are your favorite Detroit artists? Well, if you mean hip-hop artists, just go back to the song that was played before this, and you will definitely hear every single person or artist who is a good friend of mine, a buddy, an acquaintance, and also some of my favorites in Detroit. If you died today, what's one thing you would never forget? If I died today, the one thing that I would never forget is the night I got a chance to meet Big Proof. It was at the Blind Pig in Ann Arbor, and Purple Gang was opening up for Paradigm, and before Paradigm's show, Purple Gang was up on stage, and then Proof jumps up on stage and starts DJing, but at the end of their set, I walk over to the side of the stage, and I shake Proof's hand, and I say, "Dude, you are the man." And he looks at me and said, "Thanks, man." And then, which was awesome. And then later, when Paradigm was performing, Paradigm called me up on stage to dance like Michael Jackson, and I probably still could if I tried hard enough. But I used to dance as good as Michael Jackson, not as great, but as good, and just it was always great. And after I was done dancing like Michael Jackson during Paradigm's set, Proof gave me like mad props, high fives, and that was great. That's one thing I will never forget. If you could perform your songs anywhere in Detroit, where would it be? St. Andrews Hall, hands down. Next question is, what's the first event you remember going to as a kid? And I'd have to say that would be Sesame Street Live. Next question is, what's the most physical pain you've ever suffered, and how did it happen? I had a hernia. I lifted too much heavy things and strained myself, kinda, so to speak. I, lifted the things that I just never knew I just shouldn't have lifted what I did and strained. I should have breathed. So, yeah. The next question is, who do you want to be president in 2012? And I'd have to say the guy I want to be president in 2012 is that one dude with the eyes. He's got the eyes, and he's got the face with the hair, and he's got the campaign with the signs that say vote for him, and he travels to different places and tells people that he wants to. I want him, the guy, and he's the dude with the people, and he's got his name, and him. Yeah. Next question is, who do you think is the most underrated and overrated artist or band of all time? Most underrated band of all time, I'd have to say, is Three Doors Down. They don't get the they just don't get the respect and that they deserve, and they're awesome. And they rock. They put on a great show live, and their songs are great to listen to, and you can probably relate to most of them. The most overrated artist ever is Kesha. Oh, gee. Listening to her sing is like listening to a cat cough up a hairball, fingers on a chalkboard. And if you ever stepped on your cat's tail and the sound, put all that in one. Next question is, what bar is better, Necto or the Rhino Pub? Can't really choose between the two, so I'd have to say both of them are great. Next question is, if you could have one day or night to do anything in the world, money aside, what would you do? I would fly to North Carolina, check out the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and then fly to Daytona to check out the Daytona 500 with great seats, pit passes, garage passes, the works. I would do it all. Next question is, why do you always have a camera with you when you go out? That's a good one. But I'd have to say the reason that I have a camera with me the whole whenever I go out, it goes back to when I met Proof. I didn't have a camera the night I met him, and months later he had died. And to that day, I still regret not having a camera to be able to take a picture, because it's one thing to have memories of where you've been and who you've met, but it's better to have pictures to look back on. So every time I go out to a party, a bar, a dance club, a CD release party, anything, I always have a camera on me and fresh batteries. Yes. So that answers that question. If you could choose whether to go blind or to not have a Budweiser, which one would you pick? That's a good question, because if I go blind, then I can't drink, because if I drink, I don't know where I'm walking, and therefore I could be injured really bad. But if I wasn't blind and had a Budweiser, same thing could happen, but I'd still know where I'm going, but just wouldn't know how to walk. So I'd have to say I would choose not to have a Budweiser, because it would save me from major injuries. Next question is, have you ever met Kid Rock? No, I've never met Kid Rock. I would love to meet Kid Rock. That would be awesome. Next question is, what's more important, family and friends, or fame and fortune? That's a good one. Family and friends is more important, because no matter how rich you become or how famous you become, that all can be taken away like that, and fame and fortune can be replaced. But no matter how rich or famous you get, nothing can compare to the love, the respect, the care, and the admiration that your friends and family have. They will be there for you through thick and thin. Money and fame can come and go, but friends and family last forever. The next question, and last question, wow. Would you rather have no access... No, actually that's not the last question, I'm sorry. The question is, though, would you rather have no access to the internet, including Facebook, or no access to NASCAR for an entire year, but everyone else could? I would go without Facebook and internet for a year. Yeah, I'd explain it, but that would take too long. Now the last question. Which body part would you be willing to cut off to become a world-famous actor or a driver? Now, to be a world-famous actor, I would cut off one of my toes. Maybe my pinky toe. Or one in the middle, I don't know. Because I could still get around with like prosthetics and a specially made shoe. But to be a world famous driver, I would cut off maybe my pinky finger, because I would need both feet and toes to hit the shifter, the gear, you know what I mean, because they're not automatic cars. So my pinky toe or my pinky finger. That's what I would pick. So thank you guys. Thank everybody for watching all these videos. Like I said, this may be the very last one that I do. And if it is, I just want to say thank you for all the questions, and thank you for the support, and thank you for, wanting me to continue and make these videos. I'd like to give a big shout out to a few people. Big shout out to Andy Crow, who's serving our country overseas. I hope everything's going all right, buddy. Big shout out and a special hello to a very special girl who's a great girl, a wonderful mother, and I've known her for a very long time. Hello to Nicole McConnell. How are you? A very, very special hello to my family, my cousins, my aunt and uncle, my grandfather, Grandpa Garris. Hello, Grandpa. We love you. And I want to say thank you again to everybody who's watched these videos. Take care, God bless, and go Junior!